Dr. Pumac here. This video is for EDU4866, Spring 2020, and we're talking about the second installment of video series for the assignment Engaging Families of Early Childhood Special Education Students. So in this video, I'm going to follow up my previous video. If you haven't watched the first video yet, please make sure you do. Really important that you watch these videos with the assignment up so that you can look on one side of your screen at the assignment and the other side of the screen you're watching me in the video. That's exactly what I'm doing as I talk to you. So you'll see me looking over to the assignment description, and I expect you to be doing the same as you watch this video. So I'm not going to review much from the previous video because we already talked about all that, beginning part of that assignment document in the first video. So please do make sure you watch that video. I did get a couple of questions though about something that I do make clear in the document. So I just want to say it one more time, that you are taking the role of a student teacher who is talking to a parent about their child. So we are practicing for that kind of conversation that you will have in your future profession as an educator. You will need to interact with parents to talk to them about their children. And so in this case, this child, we're role playing here. So this child that you are teaching in your classroom is an early education, so pre-K child. And so they're aged maybe, 3 to 5, let's say, or 2 to 5, because my daughter's in pre-K and she's still 2 for another week or two. Yeah, so that's the age group, and then it's a child with special needs, learning differences, disability, however you want to think about it. So you want to have that in your mind as your audience. You are talking to the parent of that child who is in your classroom. Okay, so we talked about the first section of the assignment, the very first portion of it, which is the Be a Good Listener section. I hope that made sense to you. And we're going to, at this point, focus on the second section that is Say It Again. So please make sure you're looking at your assignment. I'm at the Say It Again section of the 6-section assignment. So I'm on the second of the 6 sections. So for some parents, conversations with school personnel can be stressful. And this can be especially true if you're a parent of a child with special needs. Regardless of whether the discussion is about good news or concerns about learning, try to deliver your message in more than one way, offering examples whenever possible. Ask the listener to confirm what they have heard and what they understand the implications of your message might be. So this is about practicing communication skills and using best practices for communicating with parents. And this is, again, you are taking the role of the teacher and you are talking to a parent. That parent has a special needs child in your class. Okay, so for this section, you're going to develop 3 example concerns to communicate with parents. A behavioral concern will be the first one. A speech development concern will be a second one, and the physical development or motor skills development concern will be the third one. So you want to use your textbook to look into what these concerns are. Your textbook goes into detail about these different issues that can be present in a student who has special needs. So this is the time to break out that REVEL textbook and look into those behavioral concerns, speech development concerns, and physical development concerns so that you can identify for yourself an actual concern that you might have about a student. Okay. So in this section, you will describe how you would communicate each of these 3 concerns with parents. So this is like you're talking to a parent who has a child in your class. This child is experiencing, you might think about 3 different children, 3 different parents. One of the children has a behavioral concern, and here we're talking about an early childhood student. So the behavioral concern needs to be one that would be appropriate for an early childhood student. So some of the concerns examples I gave were hitting or biting, but certainly there's many other behavioral concerns that a pre-K kid might have. Okay, and so you're going to begin with the behavioral concern, and you can, for this subheading for this section, you can write. Let's see, the heading would be say it again, and then under say it again, you would type behavioral concern, and you are going to write a script as if you were talking to a parent about this behavioral concern. Okay, so let's see, it says you should describe how you know this problem is occurring. So, did you observe the hitting and biting, for example? You don't have to use hitting and biting. This is just the example. Um, did other teachers express concern about hitting and biting, for example? That would be a behavioral concern. Um, or did other students approach you? Because even in pre-K, other students will approach you to tell you, like, this other student's hitting me, this other student's biting me, this other student called me names, whatever it might be, but that is a behavioral concern for this component. And or all of those, right? When you're talking to a parent, it could be that another teacher observed it, you observed it, and a student came and complained. So how did you find out about this? How did you come to have this concern about the student's behavior? And how can you say that and express that in different ways? So you're going to provide at least 2 ways to word this concern to a parent. Okay, so you're going to say it one way in your script that you write up about the behavioral concern, and then you're going to address the same concern with the same student, but you're going to word it differently. So this is practicing the art of communicating, and especially when we have to deliver difficult news to parents, we need to make sure that we're getting across our messages, and that requires us to say it more than once in different ways. So say it again, right? That's the title of the section, this heading of this section, the second section. Then you're going to do the same exact thing. So underneath, say it again, you'll have your script for behavioral concern, for communicating a behavioral concern about a child to a parent. And then right underneath that, you will have the speech concern, okay? Speech development concern. And you will identify an actual speech development concern using your text or using your own personal experience. You might know about a speech development concern just from your own experience at Beacon or having siblings or being interested in education. Or you can use the text. That's what it's there for, as a resource. And you are going to, again, make a script and tell a parent that you have concerns about their child's speech development, and you're going to say it in 2 different ways. So you're going to write under the heading, the subheading of speech development concern, you are going to actually write a script of how you would tell a parent and explain to a parent that you have a speech development concern about their child. And you will say it in 2 different ways. You will communicate it in 2 different ways. And again, you need to explain, how do you know that you are observing this behavior? Like, how are you seeing this behavior? Like, where is it coming from? You can't just go into, well, I have this concern. You have to say, I have noticed, or it has come to my attention. And you could say that this speech development concern could be because of something you have heard in them talking to you, heard in them talking to another teacher, or to a student. So I'll be following up this video with another video very soon.